Hello, everyone. Welcome to this very special interview. I have one of my dance teachers here, Willemijn. I'm so grateful to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. And I'd love you to introduce yourself. Like, what is the work that you do and how did you get into this work?
So thank you, Emma, for asking me to be here. So Willemijn from the Netherlands, and very short version, I was in theater school, and then, but I was always looking for ways to move and to choreograph. And then there was this book somebody gave me from Gabrielle Roth, and in the same week somebody said to me, there is this workshop and I think you should go. That was in 96. And then I went, and I was in my last year of theater school. So that's the moment where you start to think, what do I want to do? How do I want to step into the world in my kind of working life? So then I did that dance workshop, which was really beautiful. It was 5 rhythms with Yakov, who is now doing movement medicine. And then back in the train home, I was kind of like, I want to do something with breath and with consciousness and with, so there was not a feeling like I want to be a 5 rhythms teacher. That was not, I didn't even know that was possible. And I kept dancing, I kept doing workshops. And then at one point, Yakov asked me, he said, are you gonna do the training with Gabrielle? Because she was offering a training then. And I said, well, I don't know, I don't know her. She doesn't know me. I don't know. And he said, well, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you if you're going to do the training. And I was like, yes. So then I went to New York, which was super scary for me. And then just before going there, I had this dream of Gabrielle being surrounded by lots of fairies. It was really, and actually, when I came on the dance floor in New York, I was like, oh my God, it's true, That's, yeah. So that's how I got in. And then I started teaching the rhythms. It mainly began because I just couldn't find a job. So in theater. So then I thought, okay, while I'm waiting for a job, I just like to dance. So I started in my living room, actually, with these little cassette tapes. And then sometimes when there was a song that I really liked, I said, oh, hang on a minute, I just need to rewind. so everybody was kind of waiting. So it's so funny because, the techniques now, everybody's super smooth with DJing, and it's sound is like super important. But back in the day, it's mainly about coming into movement, right? It's not so much about the music. Of course, it's like super helpful and nice, and I love music and I love DJing. But in the end, that's not the goal. So yeah. So that's that. And then I think, because of my love for choreography, I came into touch with systemic ritual, and that's like a combination of shamanism and family constellation. It's not family constellation, but but I saw the combination of the dance, but then the lines, the web of life that we're all in, how interconnected we all are. So then I did that training, adding that in the 5 rhythms, and then open floor came in, the libido, working with sexuality. And through working with sexual energy on the dance floor, I came in touch. I saw a lot of trauma happening, on the floor. And that's when I started doing a trauma therapy training, and now here we are. And I kind of use it all. Sometimes it's very specific. Now I'm offering this or that, but of course I bring everything. It's
I love that. Yeah, it's wonderful, and I remember that libido workshop. It was powerful. It was a lot of fun, and it definitely brought a lot of insights and really useful insights. So I'd love to know, like, how has your life been impacted, like professionally, personally, thanks to working with the body and the emotions in a somatic way?
Yeah, I saw that question and I thought, oh my God, it right now it feels that it's always been there. So I mean, especially the dance. So I mean, it's in every cell. If you say, how does it have impacted your life? I mean, I can't imagine. Yeah. So I just want to say, because you said that libido workshop was so much fun, and then I was like, yes, that's it. It's so much fun. And often also in one-on-one sessions with people, they are kind of surprised that it's so light and yet so deep. And then I think, working on ourselves or personal growth work, it doesn't have to be like heavy and sad, and it's so how it has impacted me. I think I have more space. I have definitely more space for all my own fuck ups and my own strange, crazy things. I have a lot of space for humanity, for our trying. I trust that we all try at least to do our best, and yeah, so I it has impacted me that I have a lot more understanding and therefore compassion and empathy for people and also for myself. Of course, there is these moments that I think, oh, but in general, I can stay away from the like the judgments. I think that's the main thing. So that gives a lot of space. I mean, I can see myself going there, and then I can like, oh, no. So I don't have to follow the same old tracks again and again and again. I know there is a choice. That's the biggest thing, when we start moving, our ability to choose becomes bigger. So it's like we going down the same pathway again and again and again. It's like, oh, but wait a minute. If I take a breath and look around, I can go there instead of in there. So yeah.
Absolutely. That's wonderful. And this is what I love about dance, is like so much of what we experience on the dance floor then reflects aspects of our life and aspects of ourselves and who we interact with on the dance floor. Like all these different messages can arise, and it's wonderful. Yeah. So I'd love to know, like, what other benefits are there from physical movement? Like when we move physically, whether that's like through dance, like dance is such a wonderful way, because as we're talking about, like it can be joyful as well, a joyful way of working through these particular emotions. So like, how does physical movement benefit us, and how is this especially useful in today's world, like the world that we live in at the moment?
Yeah, it's funny because Gabrielle has this sentence of like, oh, so you really think that this is about dance? And then she kind of like has that hysterical laugh, like, oh. So yeah, we move the body. But it's definitely when we move the body, you know, our emotion starts to move as well. Our heart starts to move as well. It's because the emotions, the feelings are kind of stored in our body. So sometimes, you know, people like, I just say like, move your head, and people start crying and they're like, oh my God, what's happening? But so yeah, that's one thing. So the heart moves, the emotional body moves, and then also the mind. I mean, it's also a dance. It's also energy, you know, all that thinking. It's like there is an amazing amount of energy happening. So if we get to move our body and our heart, but then like, so what if all these thoughts, if that's just a dance as well, if we can move these thoughts and feel the energy that is behind it, then also the mind and the thoughts can kind of expand, and there is so much creativity happening in the mind, you know. I mean, I'm not like, oh, let the head go. Yeah, well, let the physical head go, but it's not that we should not think or something. So we benefit on all levels. You can't separate the body from the heart or the mind. It becomes more in alignment. And if you say from the day-to-day world where we live in, yeah, I mean, that's a little bit hard to see how much energy and importance we give to the mind and to the cognitive, you know. So our ways of living include much less movement than like before, you know. We move less and less. Yeah, so that's a little bit strange sometimes, because we lose connection with life force.
Absolutely, that's one of the things I've always seen dance as. It's this celebration of life. Like,
Yeah,
we're reconnecting to life. We're moving that life like through our body and expressing that and sharing that with the world, and it's so beautiful and so simple and so powerful as well at the same time. Yeah. It's another thing that's so beautiful on the dance floor that I've witnessed many times, and I've seen you also do, is during workshops, like when someone is stuck in their emotions and there's some fear or sadness or something coming up for them, yet they're physically they're still, or they're not moving. And it's so beautiful that there are these moments where the teacher then comes over and just matches and mirrors the body posture of that person, and then just slowly, gently inviting them to start bringing in movement. And it's such a beautiful thing to witness. It brings me to tears each time, like just seeing that. I just love it, and having that support and knowing that there is support around. And this is such a wonderful thing. Like, whenever I've gone through difficulties, it's the being open to receiving support from others that's been a really key thing in moving out of that. So if anyone watching is struggling at the moment with any heavy emotions, like what steps forward do you recommend for them to help them move through that?
Mm. You know, when we struggle with when we are really in a dark, lonely place, mostly we feel like really, really alone in there, and we lose the ability to see in the here and now and to feel in the here and now. So often we get drawn to like what happened in the past, or sometimes even worries about the future. And yeah, so that's why it's so beautiful when you can feel that there is somebody else next to you, you know. But often when that's on the dance floor, that's possible, but then you already made it to the dance floor. So, and if you're like in a really bad place, you don't even want to go to a dance floor, you know, that's too much. So yeah, it's how do you get your attention from the inside and from what's happening here, the panic and the pain, to your surroundings. So then it's like, okay, so can you touch the table? Can you feel the floor? So really like stamp on the floor. Can you kind of maybe rub your face, you know, that you, or can you see a candle? And if you have an animal or a tree, you know, so that you bring your attention outside the body, or not so much outside the body, but that you feel that you're connected with the tree, the candle, the floor, so that there is the looking around. I don't know, I do that a lot in my one-on-one sessions, like, where are you now? You know, what do you see, and what do you like in what you see? And then it is like, so it, yeah. Does that help?
Yes, that's beautiful. I love that. Just like seeing the connection, like because as you said, like so often we're in that and in our own bubble,
Yeah,
and just to recognize that there is support around, or there is life around,
yeah.
there's something that we can connect to, and not to be so caught up in our own world of everything.
And sometimes I just want to add, because sometimes it is actually nice, for example, if you just had happening something and you feel like super lonely, it is also sometimes helpful to remind the times that you were not lonely, and to really call that evening in, that you were there surrounded with friends and la 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 and family, and then not go like, yeah, that's all gone. No, just kind of know that that is in your system as well, you know, that nourishment from the past is still there as well. And yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's often what we do in NLP as well, is just recalling those memories, and bringing that emotional state back into the present, and recognizing that, yeah, there are all these wonderful memories that we have also, because it's very
Exactly.
easy to focus on
Exactly.
the stuff that was painful or challenging, though we also have all these joyful memories and happy memories and loving memories to use if we wish as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So what I'd love to know is what is trauma? Like, the trauma is being talked about a lot in the self-awareness field at the moment, and it's such a massive topic. But from your perspective, like, what is trauma, and what's the link between emotional trauma and the physical body? Like, why is it so important to work somatically when there's trauma?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true that there is so much around about what is trauma. So I keep it like very simple because I was working with trauma long before I have ever heard the name. I remember that because my daughter now is in the same theater school as where I was like 30 years ago. And she came across my end essay from my final exams. So recently I have been looking at my, is that essay? Is that how you say it? And I think, oh my God, already then I was somehow busy with the same movement, with the same thing. So, can you ask the question again? I mean, I know I've heard it, but can you ask it again that I get it clear again? Like, what is trauma, right?
Yeah, of course. What is trauma, and what's the link between trauma and the physical body, and why is it so important to work with the physical body, like somatically, when trauma is present?
Yeah. Okay. So very simple. When something happens, and I say that often in my workshops, when you nearly have like a car accident, for example, or in the traffic, and something happens, and you go like, and that's happening, but then you're in the middle of traffic, so you keep going, so you keep driving, but you forget to release the shoulders because it's like, and then you think, oh my God, I survived. And you keep driving and you keep going to the supermarket and while I'm telling this, I can feel that my whole body is like, well, I get it here, I squeeze my button, so if there is never times that we kind of release and breathe and tell each other again, like, oh, but now you're safe. This happened, and now, oh, you're actually safe. Whew, so you can let go. So that for me, that's very simple. That's like very the basics. So something happens in the body, or something happens, your body responds, it shapes. There is tension, you don't take time to release, or you're not able at that moment to release, very well possible that you don't have the capacity because you're only 2 years old. So something happens and you have no clue. So there is that, like, fuck, what's happening? And that state, you see many people like, fuck, what's happening, So that's where, but then they were too small to respond in a good way. But now they're adults. So if you become aware that you're still walking around like, fuck, what's happening? You can kind of pause like, yeah, but hang on, wait a minute. I'm not 2 years old anymore. I actually can say like, no, I don't want this. It's a very simple way I explain.
I love that though. That's because it's such a huge topic, obviously, and a topic that can be talked about for hours. Though, just noticing that, we do hold on our body, like tension within our body, like in those moments, and just allowing ourselves to release that and tend to that. And it's certainly been a big step for me as well. Like when I've been healing trauma, is there's the part of like the mind will then want to analyze and like focus on all of that, though working somatically was one of the big things that helped a lot, is really noticing like what was lying within the body and the motions there, and just allowing that to move through.
And that is this super simple exercise, you can just do it for yourself. You walk around the room and then you consciously bring your eyes below the horizon, and you let your body kind of take that whole, you like what's happening here, and you just keep walking, but you keep feeling, or maybe sitting, but just feel what it does to your system, to your emotions, to your thoughts. And you do that for a while, and then you kind of lift your eyes to the horizon. And again, just explore what is, that sigh came, but not even like a judgment with what is good or what is bad, but you just, again, explore. And when I'm doing this, I feel opening here and blah, blah. And then you do the same thing, but you lift them above the horizon. And then again, you feel what's happening and how you experience the world, your thoughts, your emotions. And and then you come back. There you have the choice again, Sometimes you need this, sometimes you need that, and sometimes you need that.
I love that. I love that. Is there another practical tip that you can, that's wonderful, that practical tip. And is there anything else, like another simple practical tip that you can share with everyone in how to generate even more well-being and harmony within? Like one simple thing, what would that be?
Yeah, that's the shake, just I don't know if you could, but just stand. I don't know. Can you? I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me? But that's just a very simple, just for 5 minutes, and maybe sometimes a little bit bigger movements. That's a very simple one. It's like shaking up your molecules so they can rearrange and settle in a little freer way, something like that.
Yes, that's wonderful. And I've often seen animals do that on nature documentaries as well. Like after they've been chased by a lion, but they've managed to escape, then they shake, they release all that tension. So it's brilliant just to allow ourselves to release that, because so often we're just holding and not even breathing fully as well. So that's a really simple thing that we can do.
Yeah, and it's true, because it's the same, what the example that I gave, when there is a car accident, but also when you see somebody falling, or when you fall yourself, or when something happened, immediately, often we say, no, it's okay. No, I'm fine, and yes, we're fine. But you can also say, oh my God, my hand, so just take a little bit more time sometimes. Yes, I'm okay. And God, my hand is just cut. I need to, that's something, so that we give the body and ourselves time. And it's okay to take a few breaths. And that's the main thing, like, it's okay. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it's okay. It's okay to feel. It's okay to have these emotions. It's okay. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing this.
Thank you, Emma. Yeah, and about my work, I don't know. Yeah, you can find me on willemijndedreu.com. You can find my website, and I'm always curious about new things. And yeah, so just reach out, contact me, and see where we go. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I highly recommend everyone that they try out your workshops. You travel a lot, so you're teaching in many different places, and workshops or one-on-one sessions, or just check out what you're doing. I will also link your website so people can go straight to your website. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much for your time and your wisdom and sharing this with us. And thank you so much.
Thank you too, Emma.